Okay everyone, so in this lesson we will talk about Laravel 8, and this is a very cool framework for PHP, and it's a very popular framework. And if you try to go search out the laravel.com, you should be able to find this PHP framework for web artisans. Even though PHP has a certain level of unpopularity to the community, however, Laravel is really quite popular to the community of developers, and it has a very good documentation. So I would suggest that you try to check out the documentation here on how to install it. However, there are some requirements that you need to go and install into your machine before you can try to go and create a Laravel application. And one of that would be you being able to go and try to download a local server into your machine. In my case, I'm using XAMPP here, which is an easy to install Apache distribution containing MariaDB, PHP, Perl, and you can try to easily download the installer for this that has the following versions, and you can choose the specific version that you might want to go and install into your machine. So you would see there are some more downloads here. If you just go try to check out those more downloads, you should be able to find some possible versions of XAMPP here that you might want to go and try to download into your machine. In my case, I'm using version 7. Let's go to my terminal here. I've already created a Laravel directory here from where I'll be putting most of my Laravel 8 projects. So this is just going to be a parent directory from where I will be creating most of my Laravel projects. So I would want to share to you here my workflow. I'm interested to share to you how I will be working with the way on how we can go and try to also push to a remote repository. So I will not just be working on my local machine here, but I will also be working on a remote repository to make sure that we have some version control that we can try to easily utilize if ever we will need to revert back to a specific version that is working if we encountered a certain concern. So I will also run you through on how to use version control in this quick crash course for Laravel. And right now, the first thing that I want you to go and try to figure out here is to first try to check out if PHP is installed in your machine. And you would see here in my machine, I'm currently using version 7.4.6. And if you want to follow along with me, and you would want to be able to at least encounter the same things that I might encounter, I would suggest that you use the 7 point something download here, because if you install the newer versions here, you will have a difficult time, or you will not be able to create, let's say, older versions of Laravel. Based from how I tried it out, there's a tendency that you might not be able to install the older version if you're using this latest version that will be allowing you to install the latest version of Laravel, which is 9.x here. So you would see we have the following versions. We have 5.8, 4.2, up to 8 and 9. Okay, so in my case, if I try to run my application here, I most probably will working with Laravel 8, and that's why I'm just going to be running you through on the process on how to work on creating a new project using Laravel 8. And there are some other technologies that you will need to install here, but the first thing that I want to set up here is first you try to go and install that XAMPP server here. And the process for this, you just need to download it and you go and try to install it into your machine. So I'll be creating a video on how to do that, so at least you'll be able to try to follow along. But for now, I just want to show you how I can go and try to make my PHP, because if you try to open your command prompt, you would see here I'm currently on my command prompt, and if I try to type php-v, that is allowing me to go and get that 7.4.6 version. That means it's in my global environment. Okay, and before I go and try to show you how we can try to set this up here, I'll be creating a new video for that. I just want to go and make sure that you also try to check out the following technology, like the Node.js tier, because we will need this in trying to work with Laravel. And you would see if I try to go and run node-v, I am currently using version 16.17, and there's actually newer versions right now. I would suggest that you try to install the newer version, so at least you will have the latest version of Node. Now, another technology that we will be working with once you try to install Node, that should also be able to go and try to allow you to work with npm. And right now I'm using 8.15.0, and that's just you going to npm here. You will see that these are some of the technologies that we will be working with as we work with Laravel. And these are some of the things that you might need to install, or you will need to install in your machine for us to be able to work with Laravel. So those are all of the requirements that we will need, some of the basic requirements, and as we go along, we will also be using external libraries that we can try to incorporate into the Laravel framework as we move along with learning how to utilize Laravel for creating a project. Okay? So that's it for this now, for this video.